Hey Virgo, welcome to your solar eclipse in Aries reading. We're in the middle of April, okay, and this eclipse is happening in your 8th house, so that means a lot of big changes, transformation for you throughout the rest of the year. We have another eclipse coming up next month, but I will get there next month, okay? So for now, let's talk about this Aries solar eclipse and what that means for you. If this is your first time here, I'm just going to channel for you. I'll talk a little bit about the astrology as we go. Let's get some cards out. Okay, we have the Four of Coins, Ten of Swords, and Four of Swords. So 8th house is a really transformative house, like I was saying. Okay, here I see a huge end happening, lots of rest and like recalibration for you. It's really a busy week, okay? Not only do we have the eclipse, but the sun moves into Taurus, your 9th house of like higher education, travel, things like that. Mercury's already there. And then Friday, after the sun moves, Mercury goes into retrograde in Taurus, your 9th house also. So it's a big week, okay? What I'm getting for you already is a lot of rest and re-evaluating, okay? It's a time during Mercury retrograde, let alone the eclipse. During Mercury retrograde, it's a time to sort of become introverted and introspective. I'm just saying words. Listen, it's a good time to reflect, okay, on everything. Like for the past 6 months, think about your next 6 months. Basically, the rest of the year is being aligned for you right now, okay, astrologically speaking. I see a lot of swords here. Some of you have this stress that you're not really willing to let go of right now. This is really giving me like a resentment type of energy. Okay, something that you're holding on to out of habit. I don't think it's because you want to, but you are kind of prone to anxiety and stress sometimes. And so that's something to be aware of right now, because that's definitely not how you want to spend the rest of the year. I'm going to shuffle some more and see what comes out, because this is a lot heavier energy than I anticipated. But you will find a lot of recovery and rest. Another sword. Okay, the Ace of Swords. You're going to have to decide to do things differently, okay? There's never going to be that perfect moment where everything is just... Hold that thought. I'm going to shuffle some more. Five of Wands wanted to come out. Okay, let's make this very clear, because I'm not trying to add to your stress here. You've already got a lot going on. What is this about? It could be all the changes that you know are coming intuitively. A lot of things have to change, and we have the Three of Cups. This could have to do with your social circles, your friend groups. What's going on in your 5th house? Not a lot. This could also have to do with Neptune and Saturn being in your 7th house. Okay, they moved earlier. Well, Saturn moved earlier this year. Neptune's been there for a minute. But if you read some of your past readings from me, I think I mentioned some disillusionment happening around your work and or your friend groups, your relationships, okay? Disillusionment meaning anything that has a mask on it is coming off, okay? Thank you, Saturn. And that's something to be grateful for. However, it can be a little bit stressful if you have people around you that have been faking something or just not upfront with you, or they're not who they say they are, things like that nature. That's what I'm getting. Okay. What else about this for Virgo? Okay. So you have some really big decisions to make, and I feel like you may be procrastinating making these big decisions because you know how massively the effects are gonna change, like everything. Okay, the eighth house is no joke. The eighth house is pretty serious when it comes to transformation, and you should be serious when it comes to your transformation too. The Queen of Wands and the Moon. So I feel like the solar eclipse is going to sort of weed out all of those false things that have, not intentionally by you, but just false things around you that need to go. Okay, you're being placed in a position where what I'm getting is like a plant, like a healthy plant, but it's got like these weeds around it that's sort of like growing around it and like choking it so that it can't grow. And so in order for you to grow, these things are being revealed to you. Okay. And I feel like some of you have this intuitive hunch that you already know what they are. And again, it's not procrastinating. It's like a painful situation to address these things. Or, maybe you're like, Mars in your 11th house too. Okay, these could be public things. And so you don't want to be at fault. Like if you are wrong about somebody, or, but I'm getting like your intuition's not all that wrong. Okay. And you maybe have not said anything up to this point because, again, you don't want to be wrong about this. But even if you don't say anything, I feel like the universe is sort of just aligning you with what's best for you. And it's going to happen in a way that you can't avoid it. That's really what I'm getting right here. And so where it might be painful right now, trust that you don't want to spend the rest of the year in that energy. You don't want to spend the rest of 2023 surrounded by anything that's hindering your growth. Okay, anything that's keeping you small, anything that's not in your highest good. Okay, and I was just telling, was I just telling Capricorn or Cancer maybe? Physiologically, we can get addicted to like the hormones, to the frustrations and anger and like those lower vibrations. Okay, we physiologically become like habitually addicted to those states of mind. And so for some of you, if you don't have like a bunch of friends, or like, you're like, oh, this doesn't apply to me, it's things that you're doing within yourself, things that you've cultivated, like just not that it's your fault, it's just, life has happened, and here we are. And so again, the disillusionment of like what can stay and what can like kick rocks is happening right now. Okay, the veil's being lifted. These are things that you cannot unsee, and it's going to change the projection of where you're going right now for the better. Because what I see, let's pull some more cards. So I pretty much already did your block. We already did what this is about. I want to talk about solutions more than just rest. Rest is going to be a very big part of it. Okay, rest heals the body. Rest heals the mind. It's so important to have quality rest, because without that, there's not a fighting chance to bring balance to the body, the mind, the situations, so there's if you're not well rested, there's little control that you have over your own life, let alone any other situation. But you can't really control their situations, that, right, Virgo? Yeah. Some of you have been ignoring your intuition. It's like you hear your intuition, but it's been, oh, well, okay, so what I'm hearing is like, oh, well, this is more convenient for me right now, or it's not very convenient time for me to, you know, like unravel all of this mess and this, that, and it's like, well, it's happening rather, it's happening because it needs to. Okay. So try not to go against that gut feeling that you have. Again, that's something you need to strengthen within yourself, because there's a whole world out there that doesn't involve shady people, that doesn't involve stress and manipulation and, you know, masks, and that's available to you right now. And I really think you could have a beautiful start to the rest of your year after this eclipse. Okay, during this retrograde, be sure to rest though. You might want to decline some invitations. Goodness, I have the Three of Swords in reverse. You know, and not just rest, but retrogrades, they tend to bring up the past, okay? And it's not so that we can like toil in any type of pain or misery, you know, it's not for that, right? And we have the Judgment on the bottom, but it's more so that you can reflect and heal so that you don't just keep running some race and causing any deeper damage to yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, so that you can heal, okay? And that you can get from point A to point B in one piece and not feel like you're spreading yourself too thin, okay? I am getting, I hate to say it, but I am getting like this sense of like denial. Like it's just easier to not acknowledge some things. Again, I think these things are going to pretty much handle themselves. I don't think you need to confront anything per se other than yourself. I do think yourself has been calling you to open up. Okay, that relationship you have with yourself is more important than any relationship outside of yourself. Not only that, it sets the tone for all the relationships outside of yourself. Okay, this really is an inside job. And the time is now. That's what I'm getting. The time is now. I don't want to overwhelm you, but I am going to be upfront and real with you. Okay, that's my job, is to just be straightforward with you. And I see you coming to terms with a lot of things that maybe you've been putting off for a while. But again, I don't want to become too repetitive. You'll hear from me again in a couple weeks on here. And of course, if you want to dig deeper, dive deeper into your personal situation, you can always hit me up for a personal reading. My website's under construction right now, so Instagram, DM me, Jalen Gelato, or email me at gelatotarology.com, at gmail.com. I'll list it below, so you don't have to take my words for it. It's beneath, it's in the box below, okay, Virgo? So try to breathe, do your breath work, okay? Start regulating your nervous system, because these changes are coming, and even if they're a little bit scary right now, it's gonna be so much more positive to just face it now rather than 6 months down the line, okay? All right, I hope this helped, and blessings to you with all of this, okay?